It's Tuesday, September 11th. Here are three choices for today. Camp 14 Total Control Zone is a documentary that's quiet and measured, but it is devastating. This is the story of the only man who ever escaped from a North Korean labor camp. He was born into a camp. His two parents were imprisoned there. The only thing he ever knew was hardship. He had never tasted meat before. He had never slept on a real bed. And he tells the story in this documentary of what it was like to live in a prison camp, to live with betrayal, other people betraying him betraying his own parents at one point, and just the really awful conditions of life there, and what it's like when he finally gets out of that labor camp and how he can barely adjust to real life. It's called Camp 14 Total Control Zone, and it is a must-see. Disconnect is from the US, and it's about the lives that we lead online and the dangers that are there. It's interwoven stories, kind of like Crash or like Babel, but the stories all tell the same kind of tale. They have the same theme, which is about how risky it is to share information with people that you haven't met in real life, to develop relationships online, and how that leads to sometimes very, very scary circumstances. Story of a young man who develops a crush on a social media site, of a young woman who is estranged from her husband and decides to start up a relationship in a chat room with another man, and a story of a man who is an online gambler, and as a result all of these people find that their lives change immeasurably through these online interactions. It's scary, it's powerful, but it's also got some great performances in it from people like Paula Patton and Jason Bateman. Hannah Arendt is the story of the German intellectual and author, the woman who really came up with this idea of the banality of evil. She covered the Adolf Eichmann trial in Israel. He was a Nazi war criminal, and he was put on trial in Israel for his crimes. She went to Israel to cover that trial, but she came back with a different kind of story. She wrote about it in the New Yorker magazine, and she wrote about Eichmann not as a beast or as a monster, but as an ordinary man, a functionary, a bureaucrat. And it was that simplicity of his being, the way that he was just the kind of person you would pass in the street, that I think really unnerved her most. But as a result, she got into a lot of trouble for writing about him as an ordinary, everyday person, because I think it implied that anybody could be capable of the crimes that the Nazis committed. It's a very powerful story. Hannah Arendt is someone who was a major figure in 20th century thought. The film is directed by one of the great German feminist filmmakers, Margarete von Trotta, and it stars the great actress Barbara Sokowa in the lead role. That's Hannah Arendt.